It's a real pleasure for me to be with you and to share this wonderful session. And I can see on the screen many of my friends. First of all, this is the title of my presentation that I was supposed to speak of: crystal ball gazing, THV balloon expandable technology. And I would like to remind you that we did the first the case using a balloon expandable technology exactly 19 years ago. You know, the anniversary was yesterday, so I think it's a great opportunity to be with you today. And I just would like to tell you a few things about the balloon expandable concept. So where are we today? There is an incredible expansion worldwide of THV, as you know, with about 1 million procedures in 70 countries. And the expected growth is of 40% per year. And in USA, the THV market exceeds the surgical market. So this is something that I wanted to stress a little. So when we consider the two valves that are globally the leader of the field of THV in Europe, you have the SAPIEN 3 today and the Evolute from Medtronic. And in Rouen, for example, we are implanting 80% of SAPIEN 3 and 20% of Evolute. In France, in general, the ratio is 60/40, and in USA 60/40. And the self-expanding offer leads in other countries, mainly for marketing reasons, and because it is proposed at a lower cost by Medtronic. So a selection of THV valves by the Rouen Pioneer team in our department. The SAPIEN XT the SAPIEN 3 is used in first intention, but we are still using the self-expanding core valve in selected cases, especially in small annulus or very large annulus, or when we have very heavy calcification or extension of calcifications to outflow tract. But the leading device that we are using in our department is the balloon expandable valve. So why do we prefer using a balloon expandable valve in 2021? The potential advantage are the physical properties, the hemodynamic properties, the clinical features, and easiness of use, and the clinical results. So in '94, when I was thinking about developing a transcatheter aortic valve, which were the basic requirements? We needed a valve with a high radial force required to push aside the valvular calcification. And this was supposed to offer a circular opening of the stent for the purpose of hemodynamics and durability of the valve. We also needed to protect the adjoining structures like coronary ostia, mitral valve, and his bundle. Actually, the transcatheter valve was supposed to compare favorably with the surgical bioprosthesis. And we have some additional criteria like the hemodynamics and durability, comparable again to the surgical bioprosthesis. The easiness of use, which was very important, and the safety of use, offering a predictable implantation. And also this valve had to be adapted to a majority of patients concerning the access and the sizes. And I have the feeling that the balloon expandable valve met all these criteria. So first of all, we validated the concept of valvular balloon expandable stenting in AS by a landmark autopsy study, if you remember. And I was observing that during balloon aortic valvuloplasty, high-pressure balloon can fully expand all calcified valves. So the same expansion was expected to be obtained with highly resistant stent frame. And we could confirm that, by this autopsy study showing that in spite of heavily calcified valve, the balloon expandable valve was absolutely offer the possibility of getting a circular opening of the valve, pushing aside the calcium, whatever the amount of calcium. And also, I could demonstrate that considering the sizes of 14 to 16 millimeter in height, with a diameter of 23 millimeter, we were out of the coronary ostia, the EV septum, with the his bundle and the mitral valve. So this was the confirmation of the concept of valvular stenting. These are my drawings, and this is what we got from our startup, the PVT valve, the percutaneous valve technology valve, which was finally a 3-leaflet valve, polymer, then equine pericardium, with a stainless steel stent and 30% coverage outside of the stent to avoid the regurgitation of blood into the left ventricle. And this model of valve was used in the first-in-man case, but also in the next 100 patients before Edwards acquired PVT. So the lessons for the first case was, first of all, that the feasibility of TAVI was confirmed, that we could obtain an accurate valve positioning. There was no migration of the prosthesis, no coronary occlusion, no mitral regurgitation, no need for pacemaker. There was a grade 1 AR in the first patient, optimal valve function, and optimal valve hemodynamics. So this was very encouraging, and this confirmed our autopsy finding. So the potential advantage of the balloon expandable valve that we conceived was that there was a subcoronary position offering a free access to left main and RCA on long term, no mitral regurgitation on short and long term, and pacemaker required in only less than 10% of patients with this first model of balloon expandable valve. So I was very, very satisfied. And you can see here the first demonstration of easy reaccess to coronary artery after using a balloon expandable valve. And this is something that you couldn't see so clearly, or at least obtain so easily with a self-expanding valve, as you know very well. So this is 4 years after implantation of the balloon expandable valve. So you have here on the screen the evolution of the Edwards balloon expandable valve after the acquisition of the percutaneous valve technology by Edwards Life Sciences. You can see the improvement of the technology with a number of available valve sizes, the sheath compatibility decreasing to 14-16 French with the SAPIEN 3. So this was going in the right direction. The balloon expandable hemodynamics compare favorably to the surgical bioprosthesis. This has been absolutely demonstrated at the very beginning of the experience in 2009, showing the gradient at discharge and the mean valve area offered by the balloon expandable valve in comparison to the surgical standard valve and the surgical stemless valve. So we got our objective concerning the hemodynamic. The physical properties, using a highly resistant stainless steel, then a cobalt chrome frame with the last generation of balloon expandable valve, we got a circular frame expansion in 95% of the cases. So this was also something that we were looking for. And we used in this valve the treated bovine pericardial valve, which is thicker than the porcine pericardium valve used by on the self-expanding device. We had a leaflet matching process, and the whole thing, as I said, offered a free access to coronary ostia, which was an important advantage in the younger population. Also, the technical advantages of the balloon expandable valve, and I am saying this because this is absolutely reproducible with the my valve. The easy and fast positioning, the hyper-steerable delivery system, offering a crossing of the aortic valve coaxial, easiness of use, positioning, and delivery, and ultra-low profile introducer, which was 14 and 16 French according to the size of the SAPIEN 3. And as you will understand after the presentation of Francesco Bedoni, 14 French only with the my valve. So multiple size also available from 20 to 29, covering the clinical need. So the physical properties of the balloon expandable valve are similar to Carpentier-Edwards surgical bioprosthesis. The circularity, the leaflet matching, the bovine pericardial tissue and decalcification technology, major advantages for long-term durability. The impact of scientific evidences were absolutely drastic, and you all heard about all the registries done with this balloon expandable valve, and the three landmark randomized trial in inoperable and high-risk patients, intermediate-risk patients, low-risk patients above the age of 65, very favorably, comparing favorably to the surgery. And in August 16, the apotheosis of TAVI, the FDA approved TAVI in low-risk patients above the age of 65 years, the last risk category approved by FDA with a SAPIEN 3 and Medtronic Evolute. And we had all these advantages of the balloon expandable valve, less AF, less death, stroke at 30 days, same pacemaker rate, faster recovery, but lower mortality, stroke, and hospitalization at 1 year. the main endpoint. And on the Medtronic side, similar days disabling stroke at 2 years, better safety recovery after 30 days, fewer strokes, less hospitalization, but a higher rate of pacemaker and higher rate of PDL. So we are just expecting today the recommendation of the European Society. So here, these are the valves that have been developed over time, and as you know, very few did survive. And we have in Europe mainly the Accurate and Portico, some other kind of self-expanding valve. The Lotus Sage has been removed from the market, and we have today a new device, which is a upcoming outsider, the MyValve from Marine India, which is a balloon expandable valve, the only balloon expandable valve which is concurrent with the Sapien 3, and I look forward for that. So summary and conclusion. In 2021, all the characteristics of the balloon expandable valve does correspond to my initial wishes. A prosthesis with all characteristics of the surgical bioprosthesis, the position, treated bovine pericardium, circular frame opening, protection of adjoining structures, excellent long-lasting hemodynamic results, low rate of major complications, free-only technique, predictable implantation adapted to the vast majority of patients, compatible with transfemoral minimalist approach in more than 90% of the cases, many advantages that should soon make bright the future of any other expandable valve, like, for example, I'll tell you the name, the MyValve from Merrill, which is a fantastic device. I don't want to say what I think about it right now, because Francesco will present the device and will give you all the characteristics, but I am a strong believer on the future of the MyValve device. Thank you very much.